I would redo the Flintstones.
Can I get a picture?
All right.
Do you even know what the Flintstones is?
Yes, I'm very
I
retro.
have no idea.
I do. I'm retro.
You're retro. Oh, cool.
All right.
It's time for another On the Spot.
On the Spot.
What's your favorite version of the Ninja Turtles?
Well, you know, I like the original one because it was like the first one ever made back in 1988. But I would say other than the original one in 88, I like the new one from 2012 because it's really fun. I like they made April a little bit younger, more like their sister. But yeah.
When did you realize coloring comics is what you wanted to do for a living?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. Well, I always knew I wanted to be an artist, even from like grade school. It was always what I wanted to do. But I thought I was going to be like a fine art painter, and that's what I was going to go to school for, or I did go to school for. But in the meantime, I ran into people who were making comic books, and I started hanging out with them and going to Comic-Cons and helping them with their comics. And I got to show my portfolio around. And one day I got a call from Rob Liefeld, and he needed some help with some Cable versus Wolverine pages for Marvel. And he said, hey, can you color these 5 pages? And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Yes, I could color them. When do you need them back? He says, tomorrow. And I panicked, but I didn't say no, and I stayed up overnight and did the work, turned it in, and that sort of, after 5 years of working in obscurity, was the big break that I've been waiting for, and I've been working with Marvel and DC and Disney and IDW and all kinds of cool publishers ever since.
When you were working for the CIA, did you ever think writing for Batman was in your future?
No, I never did, honestly. Writing is... This is a lesson. I thought it was impossible to be a writer. I grew up in Hollywood where every waiter is a writer and everyone you meet wants to be a writer and no one actually is a writer. And I just thought it was like you had to win the lottery, like it was true luck. It wasn't something based on hard work. It was based on just being in the right place at the right time. And I was wrong. To be a writer, to be a good writer, there's a ladder you can climb, and it starts with just making yourself into a good writer and writing. And it took me a while to learn that lesson, that if you work hard enough at this, you will be successful at it, that it's part of the American dream like any other career.
How did you make that jump in careers?
Well, I always wanted to be a writer. That's sort of, but then 9/11 happened, which sort of changed the world a little bit, and someone attacked our country, and like a million other people, I wanted to sort of do something to get back at the people who attacked our country. So instead of doing what I was supposed to do, I did that. And then when I couldn't do that anymore because I had a kid who was born in 2008, so I stopped doing that and I did my first thing, which was writing.
What did you think the first time you saw the Ninja Turtles on TV?
Oh, I went crazy. I was like so funny because, you know, even when you're working on the cartoon, you sort of like, it's hard to imagine that, you know, something that you created and something you drew when, you know, even I was a little bit younger, it's like you can't imagine it ever going from a comic book to a cartoon show. So it was like one of the most exciting things in my life. It was so fun. I like jumped up, stood on the chair, leaped around the house. I was like, yeah, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Can you take me through the process of what you do when a comic is assigned to you?
Sure. When a comic book is assigned to me, the first thing I do is I get the script. I read the script so I know the story and the scenes and the breakdown and the time of day. Then I look at the black and white artwork and start to think about what characters are in it. So an example might be the Flash. We have the Flash superhero. We might have people in and out of costume. We might have them traveling to different locations. And so I have to think about all this stuff before I even start. And then we'll do the flat color, which is kind of like the coloring book part where we just break it down into very simple shades. And then all the rendering, the detail, and the light and shadow, we have to do it for every page. So a character like the Flash, if he's on page 1 and he's on page 22 and every page in between, he has to look consistent, like all the reds and the yellows and the skin colors and everything. So that's part of my challenge, right, is to make sure that I don't just create like one attractive or good-looking comic panel, but it has to be consistent through the whole issue. And then sometimes, 12 issues in a year. So that's part of the challenge, is to be able to be consistent and duplicate that look over and over and over again.
Would you say your Joker has been more infatuated with Batman than previous versions?
No, I would say that my Joker has no motivations. My Joker is not infatuated with anything. He's not infatuated with anything. He is the one character in all of fiction that has no idea what he's doing or why he's doing it. He does one thing 1 second and something else the next second, and he has no reasons for why he does it. That's his true insanity. Or at least that's what he's trying to make you think it is.
Because I see over here that it says XOXO Joker and he's mine. I'm not hating or anything. I actually actually really like it, but just the hints and the clues in the cover make it seem like he's more lovey-dovey with Batman, and Batman wants to be with just Catwoman.
Yeah, that may be true. Like I said, sometimes he'll be in one mood and sometimes he'll be in another, and there's no sense or reason to it. That's what the Joker is. The Joker isn't. When you put motivations behind something, we say this is why this happens. 1 + 1 = 2. That's order, right? Like that's like when you clean up your kitchen or clean up your room. The Joker's the opposite of that, right? He's chaos. For him, 1 + 1 = 17. And then no, it doesn't equal 17. 1 + 1 = cockroach. You know, it doesn't make sense.
Not even numbers.
Not even numbers.
Who is your favorite artist to color for?
Wow, now that's a tough question. I probably have more like a top 10 list or something, but right now I'm coloring a lot of Howard Porter's artwork on The Flash. That's been amazing. I love to color Dan Jurgens recently on Action Comics 1000. Lots of other artists would be in my top 10. Aaron Lopristi. I don't know. I could just keep naming them all, but those are the ones I'm working on right currently. And I like coloring their artwork because their art is dynamic and it's full of action and energy and excitement, and they have really good storytelling skills, so it's fun to get in and do the light and the shadow and just try to make the colors blend in with their art in a way that pops.
Is there a character you haven't written for yet that you would like to?
Oh yeah, tons. There's so many characters at DC, particularly that like I've always loved. I've always wanted to work with. I've always wanted to write Green Arrow. I've always wanted to write like more Batman stuff. Firestorm is a great character. But with Flash, I'm really lucky because he's my favorite character, so I get to write him. So I feel like it's always kind of a weird thing. Like it's surreal that I get to write my favorite character.
Which character have you not colored that you would like to?
Well, I think the only character that I can think of that I haven't ever colored is Spawn. It's also ironic because I live in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and Todd McFarlane lives in the Phoenix, Arizona area, but it just never worked out. So I've got to work on lots of cool comics, and it's a lot of fun, but I've never got to color Spawn.
What do you like better, sitting in a booth and recording your voice, or standing on stage?
Wow. I like going on stage. I've always liked performing. It's always a lot of fun, but you can go and record voiceover in your pajamas and no one cares. So I can be lazy in that, but I love performing. I did Upright Citizens Brigade for many years, and I love that. And SNL was live, so I enjoy live performing. But voiceover is the best.
I would like to do voiceover just because I could go in there and retake if I messed up. But on stage, if you mess up, people will
like going, I like the idea of you could say anything and that's what happens. But on voiceover stuff, you do a bunch of stuff and then other people go like, this is the best one, and they decide. So it takes it out of your hands, which makes it easier.
Whose voice do you hear in your head when you're sitting in the office writing for Batman?
I hear Clint Eastwood. Do you know who that is? Does that make any sense to you? Like, yeah, you're like, who the heck is Clint Eastwood, you old man?
I've heard of that name before, but
Clint Eastwood he's an old-time actor, and he's very laconic. He doesn't talk a lot. He squints his eyes and just says the words that need to be said, and so that's what I have in my head.
Well, that's a really great question. I mean, for me, I don't hear any of the actors' voices that have played him. I have to kind of have a voice in my head that's my own version of him. That's the same with the Joker and everyone. Otherwise, I just start writing as though I'm writing those versions, and I have to have my own. So for me, it's like a very particular voice. It's almost made up. It's an original one, you know?
All right, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any friends on the set of We Bear Bears?
Daniel Chong, the guy who created We Bear Bears. I know him from working on Inside Out. I was in Inside Out as well. And Eric Edelstein, the guy who plays Grizz, and Dimitri Martin, who plays Ice Bear, are friends of mine, and they're wonderful. Everyone gets along very well. I love the cast of We Bear Bears. They're all wonderful people. Charlene Yee. I've never met Jason Lee. He plays Charlie. I've never met him before.
I was gonna say that name sounds familiar, and I thought it was gonna be.
He was on My Name Is Earl. He was in a bunch of stuff.
You said you were Inside Out now. What were you in Inside Out?
Do you know the scene in Inside Out where the two little blue construction workers are sucking up the memories and they make her sing the gum theme song?
Yeah.
That's me.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys.
All right. What's the best thing about Bobby Moynihan?
Oh,
it's when Bobby has to make a sound when he falls down. So we always have Panda, because he's clumsy. So we have all these. Every episode, he has to fall down 3 or 4 times and go, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. And Bobby's so good, he has a million ways to fall down. So that is by far my favorite thing about Panda. Or Bobby Moynihan, yeah.
I actually never realized that he fell down in every episode.
Yeah, he always does. He's always on the ground. Yeah, he can't stay up he has no legs. Oh, yeah. I haven't got to see him yet today, but he is awesome. I love him so much. Yeah. Hi, Bobby.
When you see your fans bring up your work to be signed, what kind of memories come to mind?
Just gratitude. I literally have the job I wanted since I was a child, and I owe it all to them. That's my, my fantasy was to do this. And, Greg Capullo once said, he was like, we're employed by DC, but we work for you guys. And the fact that people come up, buy the books, have them signed, it's a pleasure to get to say thank you and meet them. And our jobs are lonely. We just sit in front of a computer screen. So to get out and get to meet them is actually really a joy. So I very much appreciate it and enjoy these things.
Oh, I'm just glad that people buy them. I'm just really glad that people are enjoying them because, I love these characters, and it's always good to see that other people, also love those characters. And I hope that when I see it, I was able to show that, that passion and love I have for it, that they can also see that, we share that passion for the character.
What's a lesson you learned later in life that you wish you would have learned sooner?
Wow.
She's
Good
deep,
Lord.
Man. She's deep, man.
That that it's never over. There's always going to be someone there asking you questions you can't answer, just like school. It never ends.
If you could go to any fictional place, where would you go and why?
I would go to Hobbiton because when I was young, I read the Lord of the Rings books, and those are my favorite books. I think I read them 5 times when I was a kid. And even I was lucky enough, I went to New Zealand for a comic convention, and I went to Hobbiton and visited the set where they made it all. But I love The Hobbit, and I love Lord of the Rings, so that's where I would go.
Wow, that's a great question. All right, a fictional place from a movie. Or a TV show. Yeah, I got it. I'm into it.
Any fictional place? I don't know. That's really hard. I don't know. That's always a tough question. Where would I want to go?
Hey, I know what his answer is.
What?
Magnum PI's Hawaii.
I've been there.
Your answer.
I'm gonna cheat. All right, this is a perfect for you. When someone asks you if you had one wish, what would you say?
Wish?
Yeah, what would you wish for? More wishes, right?
Yeah.
So if I had to be in one place, I would go to the holodeck of the Enterprise, so I can be in any place.
That's smart.
I had an idea for something. Oh, Lego. The Lego world. I think it'd be fun to have that ability, be a master builder and be all I think that'd be fun. To be and then I could be a little little Lego person. I think that'd be fun.
I would go, any place in the Star Wars universe. I don't know why the first thing that came to mind was Toontown from Roger Rabbit. I think that would be really fun.
That does sound fun. I never thought of that.
That would be a good one. I'll go Toontown. We'll go together.
Yeah, totally go together.
Take Benny the cab.
Wow, I think it's going to have to be something with the Star Wars universe. So Hoth is kind of cold. I don't know that I want to go to Hoth. Maybe Bespin Cloud City. That'd be fun. Get one of those cloud cars and drive around. Yeah, I'd go to Cloud City.
You know who else said Star Wars universe?
Who else said Star Wars?
Bobby Moynihan.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so cool.
So you guys would live together in a little apartment.
We would. We'd be best friends and hang out in an apartment, and we'd have the cloud car, and he'd be in one pod and I'd be in the other.
Go!
Enough with the questions!
One more!
I would live in this world. How is your deal?
Good!
This is the fictional world I would choose.
It's beautiful. Who would win to fight, Deathstroke or Deadpool?
No video. I'm telling you no.
Deathstroke was the original.
You said Deathstroke, right?
Did I watch the Deathstroke's been around longer, so I don't know. It'd be a good fight though. We should have it.
I have to go now. Time is running out. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash it real hard, hit the like button, and share it with all your friends. See ya!